And we start the show this evening with a very sombre tone, because news is reaching us here on Sky Sports News this evening that the Brazilian great Pele, the three-time World Cup winner, has died at the age of 82. The AP news service is reporting that he has passed away. We know he's been in hospital for the last month. He's been battling colon cancer for 15 months. He'd been in Sao Paulo in hospital since the end of November, and his health had worsened. His family, of course, as you probably heard, spent Christmas by his side. And now the news that is reaching us this evening from various agencies who are starting to break this news is that Pele, the great Pele, has very sadly died at the age of 82. His achievements in the game, absolutely vast. Of course, as I say, he won the World Cup 3 times with Brazil. He is their joint all-time leading scorer with 77 goals. And boy, could this guy score a goal. Official figures showed he scored 757 times in 831 games in his career, although his old club Santos claimed that that figure is actually closer to 1,000 goals. Sadly, Pele has passed away at the age of 82. Let's speak to our panel. Obviously, we've got football to come this evening. This is our absolute priority, to reflect on the life of a great man, Alan. The debate, who is the best ever, has been particularly pertinent in the last few weeks with Messi winning the World Cup for Argentina. But tell me about your memories of watching Pele on the screen.
Obviously, when I was younger, my father was a football player, and he used to say Pele was the best. And then you speak to some of the older guys that played football, and they all used to say Pele was the best, but yet Pele said that George Best was the best. You know, he plenty of humility. It's not the way we want to start a programme, obviously, but there is no one on this planet that didn't know who Pele was. That's how good he was.
I mean, Clinton, I say this, the best ever debate, with Messi and Ronaldo, and where does Pele stand in the pantheon of the all-time greats for you?
Yeah, it's a difficult one. Obviously, because I'm a lot obviously younger, but you have to go back and watch clips of what Pele could do. What he could do with the football and the goals he scored was phenomenal. I always remember there was one where he's header, and there's one where he's let the ball run past the goalkeeper, go around it, and just dragged it just wide. His skills were fantastic. He's a top player. Pele will go down. We use the word legend too often nowadays. He is a legend of the game, one of the best there is and will ever be. And R.I.P. Thoughts and prayers go out to his family, because it's a sad time. As big man said, Al said, you don't want 3 World Cups. Yeah, it says it all. It says
if you get to play in a World Cup,
that's the pinnacle.
You're like, that'll do me.
Yeah.
But to win, and to be, what was he, 17? Was it Sweden? I think it was the first one. I generally can't remember.
58.
The one you're talking about against Italy in 1970 was probably the best Brazil team that ever was. And they talk about, obviously, well, listen, Messi was important, Maradona was important, Ronaldo's been important for Portugal, won the Euros, never won a World Cup. But Pele was just astonishing.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a studio full of people who know where the back of the net is or did in their careers, and Courtney's still playing, of course. Courtney, I mean, 757 goals in 831 games. And as I say, his club actually said it was nearer 1,000 goals. I mean, it's just staggering numbers, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an unbelievable statistic. And the thing about me, we're talking about, different people now of completely different age group, but he transcended generations. And, whatever your age, if you're into football, or even if you're not that into football, you know who Pele is. You've got fond memories of me growing up, watching clips of him. And, you think about what they had to deal with and that generational talent we're speaking about. And, can you compare Messi, Maradona, Pele? But in terms of, you think the pitches they had to play in, the equipment, the boots, the balls, and what he could do with a football is, is way ahead of his time. And it's obviously a very sad day for football and his family, and all our thoughts go out to them.
Began playing for Santos at the age of 15, Jamie, and broke into the Brazil squad at the 58 World Cup at the age of 17. What were you doing when you were 17?
Certainly not doing anything, just probably dreaming of one day even being a tenth as good, and I never even achieved that, and not many people ever will. We're talking about one of the greatest of all time, and I think the point everyone makes is very poignant at this time, that I've got a 10-year-old son, and we watched the movie about Pele, and being 10 years old, and he wasn't even in my generation yet, in the playground, and his friends, they know Pele, and they don't know players who necessarily were top players who won the Premier League, who we would say are icons. they've got them in their packs of cards and all their computer games and watching movies of him as icon cards. Everyone knows who he is. It was incredible watching the movie of, like you said, at 15 years old and playing for Brazil at 17, how he learnt to play football. Was incredible in the manner he did, and he took that onto the pitch and played with no fear, but one absolute legend of the game.
You know what I cherish, Jules? We got to meet him, me and my kids.
Oh,
got
wow.
to meet him and had a picture with him, and I'd always cherish that. My kids were buzzing, to be fair, because they know a lot about Pele, but it was when they were a lot younger, got to meet him, had a chat with him for at least 5 minutes, and we'll always cherish that for the rest of our life.
What was he like?
Oh, he's a legend. I was in awe of him. I was actually stuttering, trying to get my words out. Couldn't get my words out, but he had time for everyone in the building. It was fantastic. Legend of a guy.
Ah, that's lovely to hear, Clinton. A very nice memory from Clinton. I should just tell you, we've come on air with this news reaching us literally seconds before we came on air with you here on Soccer Special tonight, that Pele has passed away. His daughter, Kelly Nascimento, who has been keeping people posted on social media in the last few weeks as her father's condition deteriorated. She has posted on social media confirming the very sad news this evening. She says, "Everything we are is thanks to you. We love you infinitely. Rest in peace." Those are the words of Pele's daughter, Kelly Nascimento, confirming the news that the football legend has passed away at the age of 82 after a 15-month battle with colon cancer. He'd been in hospital in Sao Paulo since the end of November. His health had worsened. His family were there throughout Christmas. And now on the 29th of December, we learn the news that the three-time World Cup winner has passed away.